Most verbs are action words. They tell you what people, animals, or things are doing. Jump, bake, move, bend, pull, buy, run, close, shout, cook, sing, cross, sit, fall, slide, fly, stand, go, start, grow, swim, hop, walk, read. The simple present tense. The simple present tense expresses a general truth or a customary action. Mary enjoys singing. Peter sometimes lends me his bike. Cows eat grass. Monkeys like bananas. Tom collects stamps. The earth goes around the sun. It often snows in winter. We always wash our hands before meals. We eat 3 meals a day. Father takes the dog for a walk every morning. The sun rises in the east. Ducks love water. Uncle Joe wears glasses. The children go to school by bus. We join the senior scout troop in July this year. My big brother leaves school at 4 o'clock. The new supermarket opens next Friday. The new grammar book comes out in September. Granddad retires next year. We fly to London next Thursday. The plane lands at 5:30 p.m. We move to our new house in a month. My big sister begins her summer job next week. Use the simple present tense to talk about things that are planned for the future. Melanie starts school tomorrow. Next week I go to summer camp. The train departs in 5 minutes. Am, is, and are. The words am, is, are also verbs, but they are not action words. They are the simple present tense of the verb be. Use am with the pronoun I, and is with the pronouns he, she, and it. Use are with the pronouns you, we, and they. I am Peter. I am not Paul. She is Miss Lee. She is a teacher. He is my father. He is a doctor. He is not a lawyer. You are a stranger. You are not my friend. We are in the same class, but we are not on the same team. They are good friends. They are not enemies. It is a donkey. It is not a horse. It is very hot today. It is not very comfortable. The verb be, am, is, are. Use the verb is with singular nouns and are with plural nouns. Kenneth is a lawyer. Rex is a clever dog. A duck is a kind of bird. The playground is full of people today. My house is near the school. These questions are too difficult. The balloons are very colorful. Those people are very busy. Dad and Mom are in the kitchen. The camel is a desert animal. Lambs are baby sheep. Vegetables and fruit are healthy foods. For singular nouns, is used, and for plural nouns are is used. Use is and are with the word there to say what you can see and hear. Learn this contraction. There is equals there's. There is a fence around the school. There are a lot of books in the library. There are 2 guards at the gate. Is there any food in the fridge? Are there any apples left on the tree? How much rice is there? There are a few sharks in the bay. There are enough candies for everyone, aren't there? There are 2 pigeons on the roof. There is a castle on the hill. There are some clouds in the sky. There is a wasp's nest in the tree. The present progressive tense. When do you use the present progressive tense? To talk about actions in the present, or things that are still going on or happening now. I'm playing chess with my friend. She's riding a horse. He's taking a walk in the park. The man's counting the money. They are practicing Tai Chi. We're rushing to the airport to meet Mr. Smith. They are still sleeping. They are swimming in the sea. What are they doing? What's happening? Why aren't you doing your homework? Aren't I sitting up straight? I am writing a letter. Mom is knitting a sweater for Sally. The phone is ringing. Form the present progressive tense like this: am and present participle, is and present participle, are and present participle. The present participle is the form of a verb ending with ing. For example, show plus ing equals showing, come plus ing equals coming. You have to double the last letter of some verbs before you add ing. For example, get plus ing equals getting, rob plus ing equals robbing, nod plus ing equals nodding, stop plus ing equals stopping, jog plus ing equals jogging, swim plus ing equals swimming. Notice that the verbs above are all short verbs of just 1 syllable. They all end with a consonant such as b, d, g, m, p, t, and have only 1 vowel before the consonant. If a verb ends in e, you usually have to drop the e before you add ing. For example, chase plus ing equals chasing, cycle plus ing equals cycling, drive plus ing equals driving, smile plus ing equals smiling. Use the present progressive tense to talk about things you have planned to do, or things that are going to happen in the future. To form the present progressive tense, use am, is, and are as helping verbs or auxiliary verbs. We are going camping tomorrow. I'm starting piano lessons soon. Jim's parents are taking him to Texas next week. My favorite TV program is starting in a minute. All our friends are coming. Who's bringing salad for the barbecue? I am. I am visiting Joe next week. Where are you going for your vacation? What are we eating for dinner? When are you taking me to the zoo? We are having a barbecue later this evening. The verbs have and has are used to say what people own or possess. They are also used to talk about things that people do or get, such as illnesses. These words are the simple present tense of the verb have. Have and has. He has a lot of stamps. She has long hair. Our house has large windows. I have a younger brother. We have art lessons on Mondays. Have a cookie, if you like. Dad has a cold. Jenny often has sandwiches for lunch. We have breakfast at 7 a.m. Peter has a sore knee. Monkeys have long tails. Use has with he, she, it, and with singular nouns. Use have with I, you, we, they, and with plural nouns. The present perfect tense. Use the present perfect tense to talk about happenings in the past that explain or affect the present. The verbs have and has are used as helping or auxiliary verbs to form the present perfect tense. To form the present perfect tense, join have or has to the past participle of the verb, have and past participle has and past participle. The past participle of a regular verb usually ends in ed, just like the simple past tense. But the past participles of irregular verbs don't follow this rule. Kim's cut her finger. Sam has scored 2 goals. I've just finished my shower. Uncle Tom has lost his wallet. John has gone out. The Lees have moved to Ohio. It has not rained for months. Have you found your keys yet? Tim has made 2 spelling mistakes. They have opened a new shop. It's been very wet today. The simple past tense. Use the simple past tense to talk about things that happened in the past. The simple past tense is also used to talk about things that happened in stories. The Wicked Queen gave Snow White a poisoned apple. Pinocchio's nose grew longer every time he told a lie. Dinosaurs lived millions of years ago. I bought a new camera last week. Joe learned to play the guitar very quickly. We drove to the safari park last weekend. The giant panda gave birth to a cub last night. Yesterday Dad took me to the carnival. The plane landed a few minutes ago. The children visited a farm during the holidays. Who invented the computer? Jack and Jill went up the hill. Little Red Riding Hood decided to visit her grandmother. The 3 bears found Goldilocks asleep in their house. Regular and irregular verbs. The simple past tense of most verbs ends in ed. These verbs are called regular verbs. Mom opened the door for us. Sally petted the dog. That event happened long ago. We visited our uncle last week. They walked to school together yesterday. They worked until 12 last night. Dad tried to fix the light. William Tell aimed at the apple on his son's head. Aim aimed, bake baked, open opened, happen happened, pull pulled, push pushed, scold scolded, shout shouted, visit visited, wait waited, walk walked, work worked. The simple past tense is usually formed by adding ed to the verb. For example, jump plus ed equals jumped, lift plus ed equals lifted, laugh plus ed equals laughed, look plus ed equals looked. If the verb ends with e, just add d. For example, agree plus d equals agreed, hate plus d equals hated, die plus d equals died, live plus d equals lived. Remember these spelling rules. You must double the last letter of some verbs before adding ed. For example, fan plus ed equals fanned, pat plus ed equals patted, grab plus ed equals grabbed, rip plus ed equals ripped, nod plus ed equals nodded, slam plus ed equals slammed. Notice that the verbs above are all short verbs of just 1 syllable. They all end with a consonant such as b, d, m, n, p, t, and have only a single vowel before the consonant. With verbs that end in y, change the y to I before adding ed. For example, bury plus ed equals buried, fry plus ed equals fried, carry plus ed equals carried, hurry plus ed equals hurried, cry plus ed equals cried, try plus ed equals tried. Beat beat, burst burst, cost cost, cut cut, hit hit, hurt hurt, put read read, split split, shut shut. He hit the ball over the net. Dad read to us last night. He shut the door. I put some sugar in my coffee. The simple past form of some verbs does not end in ed. Such verbs are called irregular verbs. The simple past tense of some irregular verbs does not change at all. David hurt his foot when he jumped over the drain. The worker cut down the tree this morning. Her ring cost only $10. Most irregular verbs, however, take a different form in the simple past tense. I lost my pen on the bus. We sold our car last week. The baby slept right thought the night. Peter got a watch for his birthday. I heard a noise in the night. He brought his pet mouse to school. My book fell off the desk. Bent bent, break broke, bring brought, buy bought, fall fell, fly flew, get got, here heard, keep kept, lose lost, sell sold, shoot shot, sleep slept. Sam bent the stick in 2. A bird flew into the classroom. Tom shot and scored a goal. Was and were. The verbs was and were are also forms of the verb be. Was is the simple past tense of am and is. Use was with the pronouns I, he, she, and it, and with singular nouns. Were is the simple past tense of are. Use were with the pronouns you, we, and they, and with plural nouns. Edison was a famous inventor. These were my best jeans. Beethoven was a German composer. Sue was at the library this morning. It was very wet on Monday. 10 years ago she was only a baby. He was not well yesterday. Last year she wasn't tall enough to reach the high shelf. Samantha was second in the race, wasn't she? The Romans were brave soldiers. They were third in the wheelbarrow race. There weren't any clouds in the sky. Were you still in bed when I phoned? We were on the same school team. Those were my best genes. First person, I was, we were. Second person, you were. Third person, he was, they were, she was, they were, it was, they were. Different forms of the verb be, simple present simple past. First person singular am, was. Second person singular are, were. Third person singular, is was first person plural, are were. Second person plural, are were. Third person plural are were. Use the past progressive tense to talk about actions that were going on at a certain moment in the past. The past progressive tense you form the past progressive tense like this, was and present participle, were and present participle. In the examples above, was and were are called helping verbs, or auxiliary verbs. They help to form the past progressive tense when you join them to the present participle, the form of verbs ending in ing. For example, Ben was doing his homework. Peter was making a model of a bridge. Mary was waiting for the bus when Peter passed by. Miss May was cleaning the chalkboard. Sally was packing her books into her school bag. Jenny and I were tidying the classroom. The twins were fighting in the corner. Michael and John were washing the paint brushes. Mom was cooking our supper when I came home. The future tense use the future tense for things that have not happened yet, but are going to happen. Use the verbs shall and will as helping verbs or auxiliary verbs to form the future tense. We shall play a game of chess after lunch. You will be sick if you eat too much. I hope it won't rain tomorrow. Sharon is ill. She will not be at the party. You will enjoy visiting New Zealand. Dad will be back for dinner. He will make lots of friends at his new school. I shall be 8 years old next year. They will finish the job next week. The weatherman says it will rain this afternoon. Use shall or will with I and we. Use will with you, he, she, it, and they. Singular plural first person, I shall we shall, I will we will. Second person, you will. Third person, he will, they will, she will, they will, it will they will. You can also use the simple present tense to talk about things that have been arranged for the future. There are other ways of talking about future actions and happenings. You can use going to. I think I'm going to be sick. The new supermarket opens tomorrow. James moves to the 2nd grade next year. The new school year starts on Monday. Next month I go to summer camp. We have a history test next week. The bus leaves in 10 minutes. We are going to bake a cake this afternoon. I'm sure Mom and Dad are going to be proud of me. When are you going to clean your room? They are going to wash the car for Dad. It is going to get dark very soon. Can and could. The verbs can and could are both helping or auxiliary verbs. Use can and could to talk about people's ability to do things. Can and could are used with the pronouns I, you, he, she, it, we, and they, and with singular or plural nouns. Could is the past tense of can. People often use can when they are asking for permission to do something. For example, can I use your pen? Yes, here it is. Some birds cannot fly. Jack ran as far as he could. He can run faster than Arthur. She cannot afford such an expensive ring. I'm full. I can't eat any more. Can you help me? Can I come with you? I knew you could do it if you tried. She could not come because she was ill. Miss Lee said we could go home early. All the king's men could not put Humpty Dumpty together again. May and might are helping or auxiliary verbs, too. May is also used to talk about things that are likely to happen. Might is used as the past tense of may. You can also use might to talk about things that are possible. For example, put your purse away or it might get stolen. You might slip, so hold on to the railing. May I watch television now? Yes, you may. Take an umbrella. It may rain. Use may to ask if you are allowed to do something, or to give someone permission to do something. If it continues to rain, there may be a flood. I may go to Sue's birthday party if I'm free. You may fall down if you aren't careful. He realized he might catch the earlier train if he hurried. I knew my teacher might find out. May I borrow your pen? You may come in. You may go now. Do, does, and did. Use do, does and did to talk about actions. Use do with the pronouns I, you, we, and they, and with plural nouns. Use does with the pronouns he, she, and it, and singular nouns. Did is the simple past tense of do and does. Dad does the dishes. Mom does the cooking. We always do exercise together. Who did this drawing? Henry did. He does such interesting work. They do amazing tricks. Sally did her hair in front of the mirror. They did the dusting and cleaning. Jane did all the laundry by herself. You did well in the test. Here's a table to remind you about the use of do and does, singular plural first person I do, we do. Second person, you do. Third person he does they do, she does, they do, it does they do. Here's a table to remind you about the use of the verb did, singular plural first person, I did we did second person, you did third person, he did, they did, she did they did, it did, they did. He she it does. I do you do, we do, they do. You can also use do, does, and did as helping verbs to ask and answer questions. Where did you find the wallet? Do you like ice cream? Yes, I do. Does it rain often here? Yes, it does. Does he enjoy music? Yes, he does. Did it snow last night? No, it didn't. Who wants to come with me to the zoo? We all do. What do you want for lunch? Who broke this vase? Peter did. Does Ken often come home late? Why? Yes, he does. Why did he leave so suddenly? Does everyone have a dictionary? Do ducks like water? Yes, they do. Use do not, does not, and did not to make other verbs negative. I don't enjoy difficult math tests. Sophie doesn't want to go to school. He didn't get to the station in time. Don't you have a ticket? No, I don't. Don't they go to the gym on Mondays? Yes, they do. You didn't draw that picture yourself, did you? Did you see the rainbow? No, I didn't. Do not forget to switch off the air conditioner. Don't tell lies. The baby does not look very happy. Dad did not catch his train. The garden looks lovely, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Would and should. The verb would is another helping or auxiliary verb. Use would as the past tense of will. When they are accepting an offer, people often use would love instead of would like. For example, would you like a chocolate? Yes, please, I would love one. It is polite to use would like when you are offering people things, or asking for something yourself. For example, would you like a cup of coffee? I am tired now. I'd like a rest. You'd like a meal now, wouldn't you? What color would you like? We started running so we would get there in time. Peter said he would come. I knew you would enjoy Disneyland. The prince said he would only marry a true princess. John and Sue said they would meet me at the airport. He promised he wouldn't forget her birthday. Should is a helping or auxiliary verb. Use should to talk about necessary actions or things that people ought to do. If you are tired you should go to bed early. You should know how to spell your own name. We should all drink more water. You should do more exercise. Should I turn off the computer when I'm not using it? Shouldn't you tell your mom if you are going out? We should always thank people for presents, shouldn't we? You should always look before crossing the street. Children should not play in traffic.